This podcast is supported by the Newman School at the Talmud Torah of St. Paul, where academic excellence meets Jewish values, prioritizing small classes, experiential learning, and moral development. Now enrolling grades K through 5. Learn more at ttsp.org/Newman. Welcome to this week's Who the Folk podcast. I'm Lonnie Goldsmith, the editor of TC Jew Folk. And this week I talk with Niza Schear, the community concierge at the St. Paul Jewish Federation. We talk about how she got started in this new role, what it's like to help community members connect, and how she went from classroom teacher to the Federation on this week's Who the Folk podcast. But before we get started, be sure to check out some of the other podcasts Jew Folk produces, like The Jews Are Tired, where Lev Gringaus takes a deep dive into Jewish news, Kumba Hineni, Jew Folk's podcast on intersectionality with your host Enzi Tanner, and Not Your Bubby's Nosh, Jew Folk's rebranded food podcast with Micah Siva. Go to tcjewfolk.com/podcast to learn more. Niza Schear, welcome to the Who the Folk podcast. Thank you for joining me.
Thank you.
So, Niza, you are the new St. Paul Jewish Federation community concierge. So I guess for starters, what is that role and what is sort of the day-to-day of it for you?
Lonnie, there's so much going on with this new community concierge role. Basically, I'm doing a lot of outreach and engagement for members in the Jewish community. And when we talk about inreach, I'm getting to know all the organizations in the St. Paul and surrounding area, from synagogue leadership to organization leadership, and really delving in from the Hillel House on campus to the Chabad House on campus to the various synagogues.
It's obviously it's a fairly big role. I'm interested though the term inreach. I haven't heard that before. What is that sort of outreach? Obviously, I've heard of, but inreach I'm less familiar with. Is that something sort of? Is it like a new term, or is that unique to the type of position?
It might not even be a word. And maybe if you Googled it, it's probably not a word either, or a compound word, but right now I'm really getting to know who the players are in our Jewish community. Minnesota JCC now is one. So I'm reaching into people that are leaders in the community and the organizations. So it's kind of maybe a word that we kind of came up with, but I'm reaching in to find out who are we, what programs do we have, what are we doing in our community already. And because I work for St. Paul Jewish Federation, there's so much more for me to learn on that side of the river because I live in Minnetonka and I'm very familiar with what's going on in the Minneapolis area, St. Louis Park, Minnetonka. But we are really one, and it's not such a big trip. But the inreach piece is who are our leaders? What are our organizations? And what does the community already have to offer? And even finding out inreach, things that we can really touch, what restaurants are out there, and other fun things.
What was it about this opportunity that was intriguing for you?
So I believe it was a Basharit experience. I am a licensed K through 6 teacher, and I've been teaching my whole life. I believe this experience came to me. My inspiration was really my dad, who just passed away on April 1st of this year. He was kind of the day brightener, where every time he met somebody, he was connecting them to different people, organizations, so no one would feel alone. And for me, this opportunity really came to me, and then I gave my credentials as well to really reach out to people. And the Federation's mission is really no Jew should feel alone. And what that means to me is be lonely. And I think my dad just showing me to connect people and to be a warm, inviting community was my inspiration. And I can also educate people about the resources that are here. So it really fits into what I do as well as an educator.
I mean, your father was a trip. I got to sort of know him. Our offices used to be at the Minnesota JCC, and so I know he was a regular with your mom at the JCC almost daily, and he was an excellent schmoozer.
And Lonnie, that gift of gab, I think he passed on to me, but also being an immigrant from Poland,
Mm-hmm.
and my mom, an immigrant from Russia, and then I was born in Israel. So we came here as newbies, and the federations, they were there for us. And I am who I am because of the camps and the community support. And now is my chance to give back as well. And being a mom of 3 kids, that I've been very immersed in the Jewish camps and the schools and the USY programming, that it's, I don't know, that was my dad's inspiration, and inspiring me just to be there for people and to know that we too were once new. We were once new here.
So the job is the job new? The position new?
It is a new position.
Okay.
They have been talking about having this concierge position at the St. Paul Federation for many years. It came out of a community study of what was needed in the community. So that was the inspiration for this position to begin.
And the timing of it is sort of great. Obviously, we're still in a pandemic, but I think more people are comfortable going to things or having people in their home. So is this opportunity to meet with people in in person as opposed to virtually, even though we're meeting virtually right now, there's an opportunity to do things more face to face than maybe in the previous couple of years. So I think the timing of the position is probably useful for that regard.
It is. And I've met people online, and face-to-face meetings have been really amazing. And the stories that are coming out of some of these meetings where people have really felt isolated and alone and not connected in the Jewish community has been such a great gift for me to be there as a resource to connect them with other organizations and each other. And some of these stories, they too want to share their stories to help other people. So it's like the gift that keeps on giving. When I help somebody, then they in turn want to share their story and help other people that are feeling alone or isolated. And in person, I've been having little meetup coffee dates, putting on a little bit of the calories, learning about some of the restaurants that are out there, and it's really a great opportunity to get to know stories and to learn about not only them, but to share my stories and to see how we can connect.
And you gotta be careful with all those coffees because I've been told too much caffeine is not good for you.
I don't even really drink coffee. It's like the thing to say. It's been a little matzo ball soup, a little borscht, a little cake, a little decaf tea is my specialty. And some people, we want to go to kosher restaurants too. So I'm learning some people just want some water. I'm meeting people from all different levels of Jewish observance, and coffee is just not for everyone.
No, that's fair. So how have the stories that you've learned and the information you've taken in and that you've been able to share about the nature of the role in the St. Paul community, how have those things sort of informed you in the way that you're trying to evolve the position and what you're trying to do there?
So I have a couple stories, and there's many people that I've already met since my 6 months of being in this role. And as this role evolves, I'm meeting people in a couple different ways. Some of the ways is just by chance. I happened to be meeting with a leader in the Jewish community, and that person is there at the previous meeting. So one friend that I've connected in the community is a postdoctoral student from Ethiopia and living in Israel. So speaks fluent Hebrew, keeps kosher, and we connected because she's here for 1 year studying postdoc for leadership. Well, her position is learning about how people relate to identity and languages. And right away we connected. I was speaking Hebrew, we were speaking English, and we talked about different synagogues and different leadership that I could introduce her to. We just went to the Temple Israel Twin City program together so she could meet the rabbis and see what the community was doing. So that was just like a Besheret experience. It was meant to be. One person that I've connected with he was at the TC Jew Folk fundraiser at the Hillel House.
At Hillel, sure.
Right?
For Folk Fest,
So he met somebody who was my colleague who works for PJ Library. And that name came to me with someone who was interested in learning more about the Jewish community. He is a founder of a Holocaust organization, foundation, and wants to learn more about Judaism because his young daughter of 3 years old last year happened to light the candles at a program in St. Paul and believes she's Jewish and wants to explore more of what Judaism has to offer. And since that meeting, I just learned that they joined the St. Paul JCC. And this is a person that is interested in Holocaust studies, and I have names of people I could connect him with to explore that on a professional level and personally to find out what is there in the Jewish community for his family. And then someone reached out to me because it was a referral from JFS. And this individual is part of the LGBTQ community and is a transgender woman looking to find connections. And that was a referral to me. And I would come up with a list of, here are different organizations to call to be part of education. This person wants to find out more about her Jewish heritage. And I connected not only with J Pride in Minneapolis Federation has, leadership in the community there, but we have leadership in St. Paul where to be involved with other organizations. I'm part of a group called JEDI as well, Jewish Equity, Diversity, and Inclusion Leadership. That's a federation program. And we're talking about diversity. So she wants to build, some relationships where she could share her story too of how she wants to be more connected in the Jewish community and learn more about her heritage. And, when I received a thank you note from her saying how she was so appreciative of my support, that's what gives me the spark to continue of doing this kind of work. So she doesn't feel alone.
That's great. And it shows how so very, worthwhile the position is of creating those connections between different agencies and members of the communities and how you can help them find the resources to get what they're looking for in the Jewish world here.
Lonnie, some of the things that I've learned as well, like connecting with the Hillel. I have some great opportunities to meet people. And my request is, please send people that are new to the community my way. If there's any programs or events that I can support and to help Jews that feel like they want to be more engaged to be more involved in the community, let me know. And some of these ways of connecting with people, it's organic. And also, there's a plan in place of a timeline, how many people I meet, so there's a very business way of dealing with collecting data, making sure that the word gets out, that people know that this position exists. But as far as, I'll give you an example. The first day that I walked into the Federation office, it was my first day of work. I saw all these business cards attached to the back bulletin board of where the desk was. And I have a passion for football and for sports. And I think that's a huge way that people connect with each other and to get the kids excited. And I saw Mark Wilf's name. And I thought, oh, I should probably call him. But then I thought, why would he even want to talk to me? But I love football. And I reached out to him. And within 6 hours, I received a response. And I was so impressed with his responsiveness and his care of really being involved in the federations and the Jewish community. And we talked, and my request was, let me know what's going on over there in Egan with the new hotel, with where the players are playing, and I want to be involved. And that led to a conversation about the tzedakah bowl that hasn't been happening for a while. And then when I talked to Benji at the Hillel house, I said, Benji, how can we bring the tzedakah bowl back? So it's just a little spark that might lead to another event or a program that could be beautiful to get more individuals engaged. That was a gorgeous connection, which gave me the confidence to say, there's other people out there that want to help. And there's great programming out there. How do we get people involved in being part of these programs across the Twin Cities? We have so many Jewish Hanukkah events that will be happening, so many lectures and learning opportunities. How do we engage these people? I think sports is one huge way to do it. So soon we'll be determined. We'll see if we can get some sparks going and to find out what gaps are in the community to fill those opportunities to have new programming if needed.
Just to be clear, there isn't a tzedakah bowl coming this year, right?
There isn't, unless you know something I don't know.
I do not know something
no.
On
but
that
would
regard.
You go? Would you go and would you play?
Possibly.
I don't know much about it, but all I know is it'd probably be like flag football.
I would probably give it a shot, sure.
I don't know.
I'd probably be laid up for a week after playing, but sure, I'd give it a go. Why not?
No, we want no injuries. You know what? I'm going to sign a waiver. The disclaimer: no one will get hurt. We'll all be good. It's all about engaging new members to meet each other in the community. And some people feel more comfortable if we just have a bike club, or there's a group of mamalas that are getting together just to meet each other without having any connection with any religious organization. We're trying to meet people where they're at and connect them more to different engaging experiences.
Well, that sounds really great. Now, the other area where I think a lot of people may see that you see your name and see that we've talked, and they will know you from working at Talmud Torah of Minneapolis for a number of years as a teacher.
I have been a teacher for a long time. I worked at the Heiliger Minneapolis Jewish Day School. Back in the day, it was just Minneapolis Jewish Day School. I taught at Talmud Torah of St. Paul for a year as well. I'm pretty active, as a teacher, but more so as a mom of 3 now adult kids. I'm an empty nester. But yes, I've been teaching for a very, very long time in the public schools as well.
So what's the transition like from being in the classroom to now having a job that's not in the classroom?
Lonnie, you have such great questions. Right now, the excitement that I'm experiencing is that I can reach a lot of people that are new to the community and also people that just want to be more engaged. Like, there's no limit. The challenge is that I really need to manage a nice, structured classroom when I'm teaching. There's a beginning time and an end time.
Yep.
And conferences and things that come up. So it is a little bit unpredictable at times, but there's more of a structure. With this position, it has more of a wide range of people to reach, and there might not be a beginning time or a start time. So I have to really kind of hold myself accountable. It's a part-time position, but I also know that it's not a part-time position because I feel like I'm always working to connect. So I have to create boundaries for myself.
That's probably good for any job to be able to do that.
It is. It's good.
Well, Niza Schear, last couple of questions, and we will let you get back to your connecting with the community. First, what is your favorite Jewish holiday?
My favorite Jewish holiday. All right. So you know what? I believe my favorite Jewish holiday is Shabbat. It comes once a week, and it helps me remember that it is a time to rest, to recharge, to be with family, and to really spend some time alone, as well as knowing how important it is to connect with other people. I think the importance of having some alone time for me and meditating and praying is hugely important. And it's great because it comes once a week. From Friday night, I start chilling a little bit until Saturday night, where I can go out and have like some more fun or take some time for myself as well.
So what is your favorite Jewish food?
Favorite Jewish food? So I'm trying to watch the cholesterol a little bit. It wouldn't be necessarily only a Jewish food, but I think I'm going to go with a nicely cooked salmon. Not overly seasoned, but a nice, beautiful fish.
Okay. Well, Niza Schear, the new community concierge at St. Paul Jewish Federation, thank you so much for stopping on to tell us all about the new opportunity and what you're looking to do, and how can people get a hold of you if they want to reach out?
There's a couple ways. One is to go to the Federation website, and the other way is to email me at nschear, STPAUL fed.org.
Fantastic. Well, Niza, thank you so much for coming on. We appreciate it. And best of luck as you continue to settle in.
Thank you so much. And I want to just put a plug in for TC Jew Folk as one of my resources. And you didn't ask me to do this. I can just
I did not ask you to do this.
You did not ask me to do this. But to have a place where we can go and find out about programming across the Jewish community, it is a huge resource for the community to know what's going on and to be able to learn about different community leaders that are part of our community, from 6 Point Theater to the different schools that are having activities, to the cultural arts program. It is a huge resource in our community. So I want to thank you for keeping it going. But I want you to know that this TC Jew Folk is such a huge resource to the community. And I'm grateful because I send the new people that I meet your way as well. And that's what I mean about collaboration. When there's programming going on, I want us to be one Minnesota, but to know that we're all here for each other, because I'm the community concierge, but so are you, because everyone here is an ambassador to welcome new people into our community. And for the people that have been in the community that still don't feel engaged, it is all of our jobs listen to those voices to say, here, let's try to pull something together for each other. So thank you for being a resource.
Well, I appreciate it. And we have a whole team of folks here at JUFOK who are working to pull that off. So I really appreciate it, and I know they do as well. So thank you for your kind words. I much appreciate it.
Thank you, Lonnie.
The Who the Folk podcast is part of the JUFOK Podcast Network, a product of JUFOK Inc. Please subscribe, rate, and review the show wherever you get your podcasts. If you have suggestions for other podcast guests, please email them to me at editor@tcjufolk.com. For our other shows, check out tcjufolk.com/podcast.